Hello everyone, Jakub Mamulski of Play2Chill here today. I'm with Krzysztof
Hello, everyone.
and Damian.
Hello.
Yeah, and we're about to show you a long play of our upcoming game called Aztecs: The Last Sun. It's a survival city builder, and the game had its demo release sometime last year, and quite a bit of time has passed, and we've been heavy at work. And the purpose of today's video is to showcase you the changes that have been done. So what can we see now?
So, hello everyone once again. Since the demo, we received extremely positive feedback and the community has grown. And we've been hard at work, as Jakub said, in order to develop and build on the feedback that we received. Our short demo right now starts with rebuilding of the main temple, the main structure in the city. And the story-wise, the Aztecs have found the island, the promised island that the god showed them, and built on the ruins of an ancient civilization. This is one inspiration that we took from the history of the Aztecs and the folklore. And from this rebuilding of the Aztecs, our gameplay starts.
Yeah, and it's actually rooted in history, because their foundation myth was that they had a group of, let's say, colonizers, and they have just stumbled upon this semi-random island, which had an eagle sitting on a cactus, if I recall correctly, or a rock. And
It was a cactus on the rock.
Yeah, sorry.
Eagle on the cactus on the rock.
It was all at once.
All at once.
Yeah, and even the name of the city, Tenochtitlan, means something along these ways, right? If I recall correctly.
Yes. It's connected.
Yeah.
And for our story, it's important why they had to search for this place. Right before the great searching for Tenochtitlan, they were banished from other kingdom where they were guests, and because of their actions that we will learn through the game, they were banished, and they no longer are liked by this kingdom.
There is a pretty big significant reason. That was pretty much a misunderstanding, so to speak. But can we shed a little bit more light onto it?
Well,
Yes.
it has something to do with marriage, with daughters, and with old angry men coming to get us and trying to destroy the Aztecs civilization. But I think it's a big thing in the demo to read the dialogues and to experience the little storyline. So I don't think we should spoil too much, but it's based on the real history of the Aztecs, with of course small
Adjustments.
adjustments and tweaks. It's more an inspiration than adaptation, right? Than gamification.
Right. And could you please explain what you're doing right now?
So the previous demo had a very simple economical structure and functionality. The resources were immediately generated through outposts like woodcutter outposts. We overhauled this whole system. Right now, the outposts like woodcutters, they send agents to the respective resources, and the resources are a real thing in the world. The agent needs to go gather the resource and bring it back to the outpost. The outpost then store the resources, and they need to be gathered by the storehouse worker. So the big building with the tarps is the main storehouse. This is the core and the main hub of logistics in the game. You have to hire and assign people to the storehouse and assign them to different buildings. Right now, you can see the two guys going from the woodcutter outpost to the storehouse. So the basic flow is that you build a storehouse and you connect them to respective buildings, and then agents need to move the resources between buildings to generate income. So wood is getting acquired from the trees, moved to the outpost, and then a storehouse worker have to go to the outpost, gather the wood from the woodworkers, and bring it back to the storehouse. Only then we can use the wood to other purposes. So this have many implications on the gameplay. So the terrain itself is very important, because the longer the distance between the storehouse and the outpost, the longer agents will travel and the longer agents will deliver resources. So the longer you have to wait, so the whole economy will fall. Also, later in the game, we will unlock the possibility of water distribution of resources. So managing the land, shaping the ground around the storehouses will be very important. There's only one storehouse right now, but on the end on the gameplay, I am going to build another storehouse. So players will be able to place smaller storehouses to manage different parts of the city.
Right, so it all really comes down to building a proper logistics chain, more or less, right?
Yes.
In this regard, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And while you were providing this very detailed explanation of this aspect, we had a little pop-up that said homelessness. So could you please tell us a bit more about being homeless in the good old Aztec times?
Sure. In Aztecs, right now, we decided to take a little different approach in case of newcomers and people. We don't have any mean of generating people. We have to find people later in game in the Valley of Mexico. But homelessness is one of aspects of resident lives. This little user interface on the left bottom is a hub of aspects of resident lives. We have 3 of them. One of them is homelessness. There's also a lack of water, and hunger. Homelessness develops when you have more people in your city than houses. Every house on the base level can store or can provide home for 10 people. And when the homelessness begins, there is a 24-hour window in game, of course, where you have time to do something about it. After the 24 hours, the sickness will start to develop. And the sickness will ultimately cause death in the city. So one of reasons to conquer the homelessness is the sickness. Another one is trust. We have a system of trust in our game. So actions you do, decisions you make along the way will cause decrease or increase of a overall trust to you as a Tlatoani. And this will give you buffs and debuffs, positive effects and negative effects, like increased resource gathering or decreased food consumption. So higher the homelessness, less trust you have, and then maybe resources are gathered less efficient. So sickness, trust, and there are some random events connected to every of the resident aspects of resident lives. And with homelessness, there is also a chance to randomly steal some resources. So there will be an event that homeless people, in order to survive, they can steal food, for example, right? So randomly you will have decreased food in your storehouse.
Right. I remember when I was publicly playing the game that I came up with a pretty effective way of bereaving the Tenochtitlan of homelessness, and right now we are seeing a blood module. So could you please tell us a bit more about blood module?
Damian, would you like to?
Okay, so as you could see, there was a dialogue where Akito Metal shows to us, and he speaks that he's having a pact with a moon goddess, and he wants to destroy us. It's connected to our history, so I will leave that part for you to play the game to understand. But we need to defend from moon goddess, and the moon shows at night, so we need to prepare. Probably something will attack us at night. The blood module that we build creates a special safe zone. We call it the blood zone. You can see the boundaries of it, and this barrier just appeared. It is powered by the blood, which we have gathered through the mini game of collecting blood vessels, and you in the moment you will be able to see moon ghosts. Yes, they try to destroy our main temple. When that happens, it's end of the game. It's game over. So we need to power the blood module, the blood zone, to protect our city in order to block the moon ghosts. Each hit with the moon ghosts depletes blood a little. So in a short time, we will have to search for new blood source, because we can't operate only on blood vessels. It's a random event related to our relation with gods. So probably some sacrifices will be coming.
Yeah. In demo, in the last demo, the day and night system was only cosmetic. There was no difference between the day and the night. We really wanted to build on the Aztecs mythology and connect the night to the survival element, to an important feature in the game. So at night, of course, as you can see, as Damian explained, we are being attacked by the moon goddess. In the Aztecs mythology, the sun and the moon battled constantly, and we have to gather blood to keep the barrier, to keep the blood zone open. At night, also wood outposts and workshops don't work. People are going home for the night. So but in the city all the constructions and other building events will be conducted, so the night also can be a good time to work on some buildings and to get the city to a larger state.
Right. How do you think? Because the demo that's already available, it showcases the city building aspect of the game quite well, I suppose. But there's also this big survival element to it. So would you say that it is a bit more fleshed out in the current version of the game, like in the current build?
I would say that every aspect is a little bit fleshed out better. Even the basic city building features. The building of the buildings and the grid system was overhauled as well, so it's more snappy and more responsive and more robust than in the first demo. And the survival elements were non-existent in the previous demo. To be honest, there was a homelessness and there was a food shortage in a very basic state. But now, the gathering of blood, the night, and the aspects of resident lives are creating the survival element in the game, basically. So you have to balance economy and the resident lives and keep the trust and at a good level, and keep the blood at a good level to survive the night. I would like to go to the blood for a moment and describe how we could acquire blood. We saw the small minigame with the blood vessels. This is one option, but also, of course, we will be able to sacrifice people in order to get blood. In the demo, there is a little quest chain about acquiring captives to do so. Also, building a little bit on history books about Aztecs, we allow players to decide if they want to gather a blood tax from people. It's called a bloodletting. And every night, every person in our city will donate some part of the blood. The level of the blood and amount of the tax will highly impact the trust levels. If we tax people too much, both in blood and cocoa, it will impact the trust levels. A very important thing here, the new feature of the night appeared. These are moon beacons. Over time in the game, we will introduce new threats during the night. Now we have 3 events. We have Moon Ghosts, we have Moon Beacon. Moon Beacon is more powerful in dealing damage to our blood zone, and we can send priests to destroy them.
Yeah, this Moon Beacon really looks like a supernatural laser, pretty much.
Yeah, we are not afraid of adding some supernatural elements to the game. We think that the mythology is so interesting that a little spark of fantasy or supernatural can really enhance the storytelling and the gameplay. So
yes, and you haven't said anything about the Sunken Temple yet. There's another night activity, as we call these structures out of our blood zone. The sunken temple is, we can call it a security system of ancient civilization that was preparing for this situation. And it helps us to gather a little bit more blood, just to maybe survive one more night. And for the night activities, we can send priests. The more priests we have, the more activities we can do at the same time. And we can send them to deactivate the moon beacon so it won't damage our blood zone, or to the sunken temple to gather blood. So the decision is for the player to make if he don't have enough priests to send out.
Right. Okay, so it seems there's plenty of ways of gathering blood and surviving the night.
Right
However,
now,
yep.
I would like to comment on what's going on right now. We are building the blood beacons. This is something that people know from the previous demo. This is a way to expand our territory, our blood zone. In this case, it's also a way to discover and to access a new resource, because we cannot gather anything that is outside the blood zone. It's dangerous for our people. So we have to build the blood beacon to dispel a fog around gold veins. And right now, there's on the video, I am playing through a quest chain of gathering gold to trade with a merchant for captives that could be a source of blood and another workforce in our city. So
another the captives are another decision for the player. They are working in basic buildings like outposts for free, so we can use them for that. Or if we need blood, we can sacrifice them, and our citizens won't have anything against that. We can also start to sacrifice commoners, but our citizens. But it might not be the best decision. Only in as
in extreme
last
situations.
Yes.
Yeah. So players have a free will to sacrifice whoever they want, but sacrificing important people in the society can come with a cost of losing trust, right?
Right. Another thing that I would like to address is the fact that you have placed this moon beacon across a body of water, and in most strategy games, bodies of water are usually an obstacle. However, I do know that this isn't exactly the case in Aztecs the Last Sun. So could you please tell us a bit more about the possible interactions with water and about basically shaping artificial islands?
Sure. So right now on the video, our brave workers go through any water. They deep dive to gather fish and gold. We are developing models and animations of them traveling on boats, on canoes, because Aztecs had the technology of different boats and water transportation. So we are not treating the water as an obstacle that cannot be passed, but as a harder ground for agents to look for a way to the goal. But as you mentioned, we can shape the island, and we can change the shape of ground. It will be presented in the video a little later on, but the Aztecs were famous for shaping the island and building the island on their own. So we really wanted to have this feature in our game. That's why our island, basic island, and the whole game world is not rich in mountains and valleys, because we really wanted to give that it was an artificial island on the lake. So that's why we can dig a part of island somewhere and use the mud and the ground to flatten the ground somewhere else where we may need some extra real estate for the buildings. Yeah, I think that's it. So our fishermen and our gold miners will be equipped with appropriate boats and our water transportation techniques. But as you can see right now, we can dig the whole useless part of an island, and later on I will be presenting how to shape the island somewhere else.
Could you please tell our viewers a little bit about how the player feedback has influenced the direction of the game?
So the most important aspects to us were that our demo was pretty much a basic city building. There was no extra features, right? So we wanted to add something deeper to the gameplay, like the day and night, like the aspects of resident lives, and also we wanted to improve on the graphics. So we are really proud of how the vegetation looks in our game and how it's how we developed the new ways of rendering systems. But the day nights and the economy factor was also very important. Maybe Damian, you would like to.
Yes, so the first thing was that you couldn't really lose in the demo. So we had to take care about aspects of residence life, to create this hunger, to make it understandable, to address homelessness. We had this really different systems. It wasn't connected to each other, and we had to maintain them together, look at different progresses bar. So we decided that we need one more to rule them all, and added sickness. So the lack of water, homelessness, hunger connects to sickness, and sickness causes unpleasant outcome for our citizens. We might lose them permanently, and citizens and all people that live in Tenochtitlan are a resource that we have to be really careful with. Their number is limited. We can find some refugees, invite people found in Valley of Mexico while exploring and traveling, but that's it. No more. So when we lose all people, it's really game over for us, and it will be shown with a cutscene and special event that will explain the situation for us, and that comes also to our main temple that is being attacked at night. If it will be destroyed, then it's also a event that we will of course warn the player there will be an event. Main temple is not feeling well. Please repair it. And if we have no resources, there will be a cutscene that show us the effect of this main temple being destroyed. We enhance the economy, so it's more engaging. Player have more ways to take care about gathering resources. It's important where is everything placed. It wasn't really that important in the demo presented currently on Steam. When we were sending woodcutters to gather wood was gathered instantly. Now workers have to carry the wood, they have to be delivered to the storehouse. It creates this logistic chains that our community really like the idea of. And besides the survival, the economy, the core gameplay loop, there's also some improvements when in case of using the camera work, we can rotate it much more fluently. It's much more responsive, and if something happens on screen, you probably wanted that to happen, which might not be the case every time in the demo. So a lot of quality features, developed survival, and developed economy.
Right. The next thing that I would like to talk about is, well, I can see that the artificial islet part was built, and there is pretty much a steady production going on. So, would you say that what we see currently on our screens? Would you say it's a competently run town, and how good would it fare if it were let's say normal standard gameplay? Because it's, I suppose, looking pretty alright so far.
Yeah, so right now in the game I'm building a second fisherman outpost because I saw that our cookhouse, which is a workshop, so the second type of our buildings that change one resource into another. So for example, cookhouse changes raw food into the meals that can be eaten by the community. So I saw that my cookhouse was having a hard time because it was waiting for a raw food. So the fishermen did not produce raw food fast enough, and the raw food was not transported fast enough from the fishermen to the cookhouse. So I built another one to facilitate that. So to have more fishermen and to double basically the raw food production in order to keep up with the demand of meal production. And this is basically the case in the Aztecs, is to find a point of congestion, find a spot that is like that slows the whole production process in the city, and either upgrade the building to a higher level or to build more stuff. Also, in front of the new fisherman outpost, as I said before, I built another storehouse. So the main storehouse has a limit of 10 people that can work inside of it. And these 10 people can be assigned to as many buildings as you want. but only one person can, minimum of one person have to be assigned to a connection between a building and a storehouse for it to work. So at one point, if you have more than 10 buildings, or if the demand of different buildings is too high, you have to build another storehouse, another smaller storehouses. And the cool fact is that the resources don't have to be gathered and transported to the main storehouse. They can be transported to any storehouse and they will be gathered. So you can basically build different neighborhoods of workers, of outposts, and have the storehouse built next to important buildings. So maybe you will have a neighborhood that is specialized in food production. So you can build multiple fishermen outposts, 2 cookhouses, and a designated storehouse to operate only with these buildings. This will dramatically increase the efficiency of the city. So these are the challenges that people will face, and we experiment with like giving players ways to restructurize reorder the city. So right now you can pretty much destroy building and get a 100% refund of resources, just to give players an ease to move things around. But this is a subject to change. We wanted the decision of building maybe to also be a survival element, an economical decision that have consequences, right?
Right. Okay, so another topic is I do realize, because I happen to work with you guys, that I simply do know that this game is at its most stressful at night, but it's still nothing compared to what it's going to be, right?
Yeah, we have much to show in the coming months. In the demo, there's just a basic taste of what we have in store for Aztecs. We really would like to show features connected to relations with gods and the calendar and different cataclysms, and something that can happen at night based on how you play. There are really many ideas and many things currently in development, and I don't want to promise or spoil anything, but I think it's safe to say that in future our players will not be bored at night, and there will be some stressful moments, some survival elements, both at day and at night. Also, one mention, I would like to talk about this Valley of Mexico, the second part of the game, where we can send expedition groups to different parts of the Valley of Mexico. And the Valley of Mexico and the events have many different interesting stuff. Both dungeons, both puzzles, different resource gathering events, bridges, and really a lot of content to discover.
Cool. I can see that you have already reached the end of the demo, as we can see on the screen. So I believe that even though there is probably still plenty of topics to talk about, such as the references and whatnot, we should probably call it a wrap now. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you had a blast. Thank you, Krzysztof. Thank you, Damien.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, wait for Aztecs the Last Sun and have a good one. Cheers.
See ya.
May the sun shine.
Yeah.